What up, YouTube? It's your boy Will Ryder back at you with another video, and today we're working on the truck. This video is from January 2022. My last update on the Duramax Diaries was March of 2022. So it's been about a year and a half since I last posted this video. I had all this footage saved. Everything turned out to be a big pain in the butt. I had a lot of stuff going on. I ended up moving and did a lot more work to the truck that we'll go over at the end of the video. But the main purpose of this video is I have a leaky oil pan, and this diff started leaking pretty bad. So this is what the repairs I set out to do, but a lot of stuff happened throughout this video. I will get to it as it comes up. I'm trying to remember what was going on. What I do know is there is corrupt audio files from the camera, so I'm going to be doing a voiceover for most of this video. That split seal over there, or not the split seal, but the seal where the half shaft goes into the diff there on the long shaft side there is leaking again. I had replaced that years ago. It's leaking again, so I'm gonna replace that as well. It's another seal that will be taken care of. Another leak, another repair. I'm pointing at a ball joint. And another ball joint. I think I replaced those in a previous video, and then maybe I didn't record. Yeah. I replaced the A-arms, the upper A-arms, and the lower ball joints. They're pretty bad. So here, looks like I'm taking off a wheel. Nope. I'm going to take off that nut in the center just to help get the half shaft out. Not help you. I mean, the half shaft's not going to come out without removing that. Showing off some tools here. Look at these beautiful things. Some Snap-on, some Makita. Probably some Armstrong in there too. Some Craftsman. I love that little socket thing that I got there for my impact sockets. I ended up getting another one for all my other sockets. 3/8, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch drive. I don't know if I've ever used this. These little swivel things, they seem like I'd use them all the time, but I don't know if I use them at all. I can't remember ever using these. Luckily, I didn't pay for them. They were free. I might be a bit of a Makita fanboy. Alright, we're getting under the truck. We're looking at stuff. Oh yeah, that leaky oil pan. I ended up with the PPE deep pan. It's flat on the bottom, helps drain all the oil. Oh, so I thought I had a rear main leak as well. I was really nervous about it. I do remember popping off that expansion cover and trying to get a better look because of the flywheel and the torque converter. Really couldn't get a good look. I continue to point to things. Don't know what we're looking at. But, yeah, all those little bolts come out. The oil pan. I think I had to take a cross member off, too, to get that down. You can see the mess it's making. The mess is only getting bigger. It's time to fix this leak. That's a fill plug. That's a drain plug for the front diff. That's the front diff. It does not have a fever. I don't know why I'm checking its temperature. And looks like I'm draining it. It's a pretty new fluid too, I think. Yeah, it looks like pretty good fluid. I remember changing it before. It was probably right after I took it out of stores. You're doing the Duramax Diaries. When I started the Duramax Diary series. This is removing the half shaft. I love this tool better than the Air one. I think it's just as torquey. It might even have more torque. Yeah, it looks like that sway bar link's in the way. I'm trying to pull this out. Yep, that's what it was. So that came out pretty easy. Yep, this is us removing that cross member. I think this was pretty straightforward and pretty easy from what I remember. There was some kind of undercoating on these bolts that made the threads kind of. I probably should put some WD-40 on there or something, but I didn't. All right, that nut looks like it's kind of a pain in the butt. Oh yeah, it's tight. If this wasn't a year and a half ago, I'd probably give you a better narration. But I got busy with life, and I'm doing the best I can here. Yeah, like, was that double nutted? Or did I not? Oh, there's two. Oh. All right, looks like we're going to remove the front drive shaft that goes to the transfer case to the front differential. Fun fact, if it's an all-wheel drive vehicle and you remove this shaft, the vehicle will roll over your leg. Oh, look at that. I am using the little wobbly things. Yeah, I was doing something on the Weiss Yukon, and it's all-wheel drive. It's the Denali version. And I removed the shaft on this vehicle, and the vehicle ran over my leg. Wasn't such a good time. And in this next clip, you'll see me point to a bunch of stuff, like the stuff I have to remove, like this wire here. That's the thing that engages the four-wheel drive when you press that button in your dash, if you have the electronic kind. You see that orange silicone there from the last time I repaired that seal in the end there. Yeah, the wires went up there somewhere. It went somewhere else. I remember there was something I had to remove up there to get the wiring out of the way completely. This is that's the vent. So if you go into deep water, if you don't get water, your differential, because when it cools off and the air gets sucked back in as it cools, it won't suck in from any seals around the differential. It'll suck in from that vent right there. And also when that vent gets hot, or the differential gets hot, it vents air out that way instead of busting one of your seals open. It doesn't always work. You go in deep water, change your front differential fluid. Oh, we're about to drop the front diff in this. Those are all the points that need to get removed. To drop it, it looks like, yeah, I got the jack underneath it. I think that might be as high as it goes. It looks like we're dropping it down. This is exciting. Now, I remember taking it down. It was kind of a pain in the butt, but it wasn't too bad. Getting it back up, on the other hand, you'll see later in the video. I'm pretty sure I recorded that part. Putting it back up was a lot more difficult. I actually had to call a doctor to come help me. Literally a doctor that lives across the street from me. His name's Jeremy. I think you might see him in the video. I might blur his face out. I don't remember if he gave me permission to record him or not. But he had to come and help me get this thing back up when we were putting it back in. Yeah, she's jammed up in there. I can't remember what I had to do to get it out. I guess we'll see here in a second. Should have been wearing a helmet. Alright, so like the narration I was doing, I had to delete, because I'm doing this as I'm watching the video as best I can. Just had to delete it, because I was like, what the hell's going on with this guy? I was on the struggle bus removing this. There was another bolt that went in through the side that I didn't know about. And then it was pinching itself, and then I just kind of had to like rotate it out. And I did a lot of different things here. It looks like there's a ratchet strap involved. I probably should have watched a video to how to get this out. Oh, look, my Crocs are going in action there. Luckily, I got over this. I'm pretty sure I was pretty frustrated in this video. Luckily, there isn't any audio of what was actually being said out of my mouth. Not YouTube friendly. I guess you could put all kinds of stuff on YouTube, but not something I want my kids to watch on YouTube, because I get a filthy mouth sometimes and I get upset. But looks like overall I was successful. I'm pretty sure I was expecting it to drop right there. Oh, the steering gear. That's what I had to remove. That's what was getting pinched on the other side. That gets replaced as well. It looks like I removed a tie rod as well. Got disconnected. Oh no, that's because it's attached to the steering gear. Everything's just kind of connected there. I'm glad I remember how much of a pain in the butt taking it down was. I thought getting it back up was the challenge in getting this this repair completed. Wow, that's loud. So there was some audio that was working, but it was way too loud and annoying to keep in the video, so I pulled that out. It was very loud. So the way this shaft's locked in there, there's some kind of little snap ring on the shaft that you just kind of have to like pop past the gear that it goes into, or the shaft hole. I'm not sure what the proper nomenclature is for that. But I remember this being a pain in the butt. There was big hammers involved. Bigger than this to get this shaft out. So obviously the most logical thing to do is try to get it apart from the other side. So that's the actuator that actually engages your four-wheel drive. You press a little button on your dash and that pops in. So this is the part I repaired before, but I didn't have to drop the differential for it. I just take the half shaft out, remove the two mounts there on the left of that shaft. And this whole part came off. I did this when I was living in California. So it was a long time ago, probably 2011, 2012. So that's a little fork. You press the button, it pushes that fork over and engages the two front shafts in the differential there. And I guess I'm showing you how it works. I'm sorry about those dogs down there. They're going nuts. So this is that clip that's holding that other end of the shaft in. So I guess it was kind of smart of me to come at it from the other end. I gotta go shut these dogs up. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Anyways, this clip actually is for the part that we just taken off. We gotta get that shaft out. We'll be able to replace that seal on the end. And the last time I did this, 2011, 2012, I don't remember it being this difficult to get this clip out. I think I might have been using the proper tool, which obviously I wasn't using here, using a couple screwdrivers trying to get this clip off. But eventually, I succeed. Very slowly. But you notice where that silicone is, there was no leaking from that seal right there. I did a good job sealing that up. Oh yeah, I have to wear gloves when I'm working with this fluid that's all over, that 90 weight. It smells so bad. Yeah, something wasn't moving, so I thought it'd be a good idea to just, smack it with a hammer. There's looks like some kind of thrust washer or shim. And one with locking tabs for some reason. Oh, now it comes apart. There we go. And luckily this fluid is newer, so it doesn't smell as bad. Old 90 weight, it smells very bad. Just kind of cleaning my shaft there up a little bit. You see where that the surface for the bearing that's inside, or where the seal is sealing. And we got some corrosion in there, so that means there's moisture getting in there. Yeah, you can see that roller bearing in there. I wonder if I should have replaced that too. I did not, but the seal before the bearing is what we replaced. Like most of my problems in life, just avoid them. Again, gave up pulling that shaft out of that end. Decided to just rip the differential apart. Anyways, maybe I didn't need to change that seal. I can't remember what happened with that other flange on the other side in the shaft. Now this is something that keeps me up at night, is realizing why my differential is leaking. There's no sealant in between these two pieces of the case. It's a very well machined aluminum casing, but I still think there should be sealant in between the two. Yep, there's no sealant whatsoever. It's metal on metal. What the heck, GM? Differential looked very good internally overall. No metal anywhere. Might as well give this flange one last tug before I give up completely. So one of the other unexpected repairs was the steering gear. That seal right there was leaking. Didn't notice it until I was down under there. Figured out where all my power steering fluid was going. I mean, it took months for it to come up, but I got I can't remember the thing called. Is it a pitman arm? Got a new one of those. So yeah, here I got some silicone down. The way that GM should have done it, and we're gonna slap this differential back together. And putting everything back together is pretty simple. Just do it in reverse of the way it came apart. And I definitely gave up on that flange shaft on the other side. We never changed that out. And it's still not leaking to this day, so it's fine. I had my impact here set at the lowest setting. I wasn't really giving it a lot of ugga-duggas to torque these downs. I actually used a torque wrench to get to use the proper torque. Which I hope it didn't change too much with the silicone in between. It's not leaking, that's all I know. It's my first time using one of these seal puller tools. I thought it'd work easier than it did. New seal going in. Make sure everything's nice and clean. After I put all this together, let it seal for a day. Pretty sure I pressure washed that differential. It's much cleaner than it was. Even today, a year and a half later. And the four-wheel drive works. I'm happy to say that did not screw it up. And again, just low torque application there, and then came in with the torque wrench to get it to torque spec. Whatever the thing on the internet I read said. Yeah, like I said before, we pressure wash this. I did spray it down with some 10-to-1 simple green, kind of break some of that 90 weight down. But with a mix of the dirt, I don't know how well of a job it did, and that's why I decided to bust out the pressure washer. It wasn't just pressure washing. There was some scrubbing involved too to get some of that thicker, caked up stuff off of it. Yeah, and here's another part I ended up replacing just in case, since I was in there doing it. That's the new steering gear that we didn't plan on replacing, and the other thing is the I think it's called the idler arm. It's the opposite side of the steering rack. So something that these Duramaxes are known for, I don't know if it's all years, but for the LBZ 2006, 2007.5, these transmission lines, they leak. Something about the shrinking and the expansion with the change in temperature and the seasons around the crimps there, they leak. And mine have been leaking forever. So these are the replacement kits to stop it from leaking. And you just got to cut the hard line and slide these on, tighten them down. They've been on there for a year and a half, have not leaked. They work excellent. Here we are taking off this oil pan, and you'll see why I'm replacing it and not just putting a new gasket on it in this next clip here. There's a weird, goofy hump in the pan here, and it retains over half a quart of used oil. You can see it's a quart jar that I'm filling up there, and that's why we're changing this oil pan out. So this new PPE oil pan has a flat bottom. The advantage of that is not only does it have a greater capacity because I think it's a little deeper, but with that flat bottom, when you drain your oil, you get all your oil out. And it looks like some cooling fins are on the bottom too, but I don't think they do anything. So I'm just transferring everything over. Here I'm putting some silicone on the oil pan. And some people say a dab will do you, but that's just not how I live my life. So I'm really going to lay that stuff down thick and let it set for long enough where I don't have to worry about it getting stuck up in the engine somewhere. Little pieces falling off on the inside. Here's the pan going back up. The cap screws I really liked. Just put them all in, finger tight with this extension and the Allen key hex head. And came back and torqued it all to spec and the torque sequence that came with the instructions for the oil pan. To get the old pan out, you had to back off this 15 mil bolt coming through the transmission to the bell housing here. And you cannot put this all the way back down because it hits the new pan. I don't remember seeing this in the instructions. It might have been in the instructions, but all I did was that little 15 mil bolt. Just shaved it down a little, the end of it down a little bit with my grinder or my grinding wheel. Now, I don't know what was going on in these clips here. I'm just pointing to a bunch of stuff. There's some parts that are still missing that I guess I talked about having to replace. But there's a lot more that's happened since this video. I'm about to do my outro where I figured out that the audio was not working, so I fixed it. But there's going to be part 2 to this to show all the things I've done. Since this, there's been a lot of changes to the truck. So just stand by for the next video, and I hope to get out to you soon. Well, I hope that I made that look easy enough for you. Because it wasn't. Got a lot of cleaning up to do. All I have left on the truck is the plastic thing that says diesel. It goes up in the front underneath the radiator. The fender wells, the plastic thing that goes underneath, and then the skid plate in the back. I drained so much fluid out of this thing that this is now completely full. It's got 8090 in it, 15W40, so I'm draining the engine, transmission fluid, and now fuel because I had the fender well off, changed the oil. I always change the oil, the spin-on transmission filter, and the fuel filter all at the same time, just so it's in the same cycle. I still don't understand why GM designed the bottom of the pan like this, because they can make it completely flat. There's no clearance issues whatsoever. That new pan is even a little deeper than this one goes, so and it clears everything. I got that cross member up in there. That's it. I am done. I'm tired. Done-ish. I am going to go soak in the hot bath. I really appreciate you watching. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Leave a comment down below. If there's something else you want me to further explain. And I will see you next time. If you remember from part 1 how organized everything was when I started, this is what the 2 tables look like now. And it's just tools. I mean, they're on the ground everywhere, underneath this table, all over the table saw here. I was just grabbing, I got into some pickles and I was grabbing stuff that I didn't think I needed.